Hey guys, Mustang here bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so I wanted to talk a little bit about the Halloween free-to-play unit that is coming out tomorrow and just go over the event, go over the unit and what they do, as well as talking about something that I think is a little bit odd, something that we were potentially expecting for this year, but it seems like we are not getting, unless I've missed something. Maybe there is going to be like a last-minute data download or something, but we'll get into that towards the end of the video. So this is this year's free-to-play farmable unit for Halloween. They've moved away from doing anything that is even sort of like remotely Halloween related, I guess, at this point. I know we had like, you know, Trunks dressed up as Great Saiyaman, which I think was supposed to be Halloween, like trick-or-treat themed or something, I don't know. Stuff that was like candy themed as well, I guess, but we kind of moved away from that, like had some very interesting choices, but they're all just sort of random fun little free-to-play characters that we get every year around this time. And so this year we're getting a Goten with Icarus Jr., and you can see you've got Gohan and Icarus, like they're both grown up in the background. Very cool, very cute artwork. And this is going to be the free farmable card this year. They're a Bond of Friendship leader for 3 key and HP attack and defense 50%. Standard free-to-play leader skill. Obviously, when these free-to-play units end up getting an easy A, that goes up to 77%, but we start off at 50%. This unit is not getting an easy A. Obviously, we would have assumed they would get one next year, but we'll talk about that a bit more again later. But the super attack is the Kamehameha, greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, does supreme damage, greatly lowers defense. So, I mean, can't ask for much better than that for a free-to-play unit. Greatly raise attack and defense, definitely very, very good. And then the passive ability, they get 1 key and attack and defense 200%. They get a great chance to get an additional 1 key and an extra 200% attack. They get an additional attack and defense 150% when performing a super. Launch an additional attack that has a great chance to become a super. 35% defense for all allies for 2 turns, plus an additional 2 key and damage reduction of 35% when there is another Bond of Friendship ally attacking in the same turn. Now, the way that's worded, I'm assuming the additional 2 key and the damage reduction is only for 2 turns, although I feel like it should be worded that the for 2 turns should be at the end after everything, right? Although it seems odd, they give defensive support to all allies but only for 2 turns. Then they get an additional 2 key, reduced damage received by 35%. Like, it makes it seem like they do get that permanently, as long as there is a... Although actually, yeah, I guess the way it works is they get everything on that turn, but the support is for 2 turns, right? So they support the next rotation that they're not on. Then on their next appearance, if they have a Bond of Friendship ally, then it activates all again, right? So that is actually pretty good. Recovers 7% HP and a high chance of recovering an additional 7% HP at the start of the turn. So a little bit of free HP recovery. And then, yeah, recovers HP with Sweet Treat. So they always give the Halloween units like that ability, even if they're not something actually Halloween or candy related, but they will heal in the events where there are candy orbs being created or anything. So that's interesting. Now, the good thing is, even though the unit is named Goten and Icarus, they do still have basically all Goten like links and categories and stuff, right? So links and categories, obviously very, very good. If we scroll down here, their best link partners, because their name is not Goten, they'll link well with other Gotens and Gokus, and obviously being in base, it kind of limits their link partners a little bit, but a lot of these Goku family characters, especially those that have all in the family, which is a strong defensive link, will be very, very good link partners for them. Then if we take a look at their 200% leads, because they're on Kamehameha, they'll be on the Carnival Gohan team, Physical Ultimate Gohan, the Int TOP androids, and then Physical Path to Power Kid Goku. In terms of like meta relevant leaders at the moment, we kind of really only have the family Kamehameha Gohan. I mean, Physical Ultimate Gohan can still be usable. I don't know about running like a team with him as the leader necessarily. And then the TOP androids, I guess they can be, but their team is kind of more themed around the tournament participants side than it is the like Bond of Friendship side, right? So, or siblings bond even, I should say. But interesting categories and everything for Goten. I think for a free-to-play unit, got some very, very interesting stuff in his kit, right? Greatly raising on super's really good. 200% stats start of turn is pretty decent. and then getting 150% on super as well. So with support, with all in the family, stuff like that, this buff that he gets on super could actually be pretty good. And then not only is he giving defense to all allies, which includes himself, but also having 35% damage reduction. So post super attack, this unit could have relatively good defense. Obviously, I'm not expecting anything crazy because they are a free-to-play unit without an EZA, but relatively decent raw defense for a free-to-play unit with 35% damage reduction thrown on, and then they heal you a little bit at the start of the turn for free as well. So overall, very, very solid, right, for a free-to-play unit. And if we take a look at their event, it's nothing really we wouldn't expect. Very straightforward little event like these free-to-play farmable cards for the special events get. It is literally just 2 stages. The first one obviously would be the one where you would get the card, and then the second one would be the one where you get the medals. And that's very, very straightforward. There's a couple of missions as well. Just beating the first stage once gives you a guaranteed copy of the card, but obviously you then continue to do stage 1 to farm those copies. Getting the characters super attack up a little bit, getting them to SA10, and then obviously Dokkan awakening them into a TUR gives you a bunch of free orbs to put into them as well to get them on their way to being rainbow. So pretty straightforward stuff. Just go ahead, farm all the copies, get them raised up to SA10, get the paths open, awakened. Obviously I will get mine link leveled as quickly as possible and do the showcase for them tomorrow. I will be live tomorrow morning. We'll be live, I think, like an hour after this drops because it comes out at like 6 AM. But it's like the only thing that comes out tomorrow. So I'll be live at the normal time. We'll get this guy farmed up on stream and check him out. And then I might either use some of the link orbs that I've got or just quickly run him through a bunch of stages and then finish off the rest with the link orbs. But I will have the rainbow level 10 links showcase for him out at some point tomorrow. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about that, like I said, I think is a bit weird compared to the previous year is if we take a look, this is last year. So we obviously got our part 2 LR. It was a Super Strike EZA, but obviously we got our 2 LR EZAs. We had the Peppy Gals banner drop with 2 new Peppy Gals units. We got burst mode, like all of this stuff is all similar to what's going on now. And then we had the Halloween stuff come out. And last year's unit was the Tech, Oolong and Launch with Oolong shapeshifting into Kid Goku. But at the time of getting that, we also got the previous year's Halloween unit, which is the Ghost Dabura. He got his EZA. So the assumption would have been this year that we get the new farmable unit, the Goten and Icarus Jr., but then the Oolong and Launch get their EZA, right? Because these guys came out last year. They're not like, they weren't a terrible unit by any stretch, but they weren't like super, super crazy because they started off with really high stats, but then they lost stats every turn. But then they built up dodge chance, which was interesting. But yeah, they got some extra key with Earthlings allies, medium chance of launching an additional super, starting from the 5th turn, launch an additional super attack guaranteed. Their super attack effect was just raise defense for 1 turn, which is still decent. But yeah, like this unit came out last year, free to play, not particularly great, I would say, just from reading through the kit on paper. Like, I mean, obviously we're a year later, Power Creep is a thing, so it's not really a surprise, but the Goten and Icarus Jr. are way better than this unit. But even in terms of how they fit into the meta, like, not saying that Goten and Icarus are going to be a must run on your teams in like the blue zone or something, but definitely significantly better on release than these guys. So I'm not really sure why, like I say, unless I've missed it completely, because it doesn't show in the schedule for upcoming cards. These guys not getting an EZA this year, even though that seems to have been the recent trend, right? That the unit from the year before gets an EZA. Because I mean, double check, like, because these guys, Dabura did come out 2022, right? Or have they like skipped a year and they're catching up with the older units? No, he did come out. Yeah, so he got his EZA a year after he came out. So we would have assumed that these guys would get their EZA this year as well, but that does not seem to be the case. So we're getting the Goten and Icarus Jr., but these guys seemingly not getting an EZA this year for some reason. Not really sure why. Like I say, it might be an oversight and maybe we get a last minute data download and they are going to get one. Let me know if I have somehow missed it somewhere and they are getting one. But if we go back to the Dokkan info like view here where we can see the Goten info, if we go to the schedule, You can see here, there's the new card coming out tomorrow, and then we have the other Peppy Gals EZAs that are coming out in a few days' time. So yeah, no EZA for Oolong and launch. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section for Goten and Icarus. Like I say, we'll be farming them up tomorrow on stream. Hopefully I'll see you guys there, and then we will get the showcase for them done. Let me know your thoughts on the card. Let me know your thoughts on Oolong and launch not getting an EZA. Do you think they're going to wait until next year for some reason? But then obviously that means these guys won't get an EZA next year. Not really sure what's going on there, but let me know all your thoughts down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.